5 sleeper picks in this year's 2018 NBA draft. My name is Josh. Let's immediately jump right into it and talk about Michael Porter Jr. Was once upon a time the projected #1 overall pick coming out of high school. That drastically changed because of injury. He sat out his majority of his freshman year with Missouri, and now coming into the NBA, a lot of teams seem to be scared of his bad back. I personally thought he'd go in the top 10, nothing later. And I know a lot of Knicks fans wanted him, a lot of Cavs fans wanted him just in case LeBron James leaves, and Bulls fans as well. So when he actually plays and he shows the potential he says he has, is it going to bite some of these teams for passing over him, especially the Clippers? 2 times. He's not expected to play this entirety of this upcoming season, which I feel like Denver is the perfect situation for him, simply for the fact that they're already a solid team with or without him. The young core of Denver looks promising for the future. Next, let's talk about Lonnie Walker, the 18th overall pick in the draft, selected by the San Antonio Spurs. I like this pick for the Spurs. It's okay, especially if Kawhi Leonard gets traded. We'll have to wait and find out. I do feel like the Spurs have way too many guards on the roster right now, and they may not be bringing Tony Parker back next season. And who knows if Ginobili's going to retire, so I guess he could play the small forward, shooting guard spot. Kind of undersized to play small forward. He's only 6'5", but that's the best available player in my opinion. He was once upon a time a projected lottery pick, so to fall out of the lottery, that's big. This is one of the highest Spurs draft pick they've had in the past few years, so we'll have to wait and see how Lonnie Walker pans out. Only averaged 11 points per game with Miami in college. Came off the bench a couple of times, so that could be a big reason why, but a lot of potential in the guy, and I'm excited to see him play. Next up, Robert Williams, selected by the Boston Celtics with the 27th overall pick, just like Lonnie Walker, once upon a time a projected lottery pick. And it's kind of crazy how far he fell, because he was one of the better big men in this year's NBA draft. And I'm looking at the draft board. There is so many shooting guards selected before him, like 5 or 6 picks in a row. It's just shooting guard after shooting guard after shooting guard. It's crazy. And if you look at the bigger picture, from the 7th pick all the way to the 27th pick, there was not a single big taken besides the 25th. So there was a long period of time where no big was taken. I could easily see in like the next 2-3 years Robert Williams being better than a good majority of those guards taken ahead of him, especially because he was drafted to an amazing team on the come up, and that's going to be doing something in the next couple of years, the Boston Celtics. It's cool to see. He's an instant double-double machine, or he can be at least. He was almost in college. If he gets PT in a stacked Boston Celtics squad, I can see it happening. Now let's move into the second round to talk about Keita Bates-Diop. 48th pick in this year's NBA draft. Slipped pretty far. It was a projected second-round pick at times, high second-round pick, and to fall midway through the second round, that's pretty surprising. He was a Big Ten Player of the Year last year, and I remember back when D'Angelo Russell was with Ohio State. That was like one of the first major years I got into college basketball. I kind of fell off like this year compared to previous years, but I feel like with Jimmy Butler and Tom Thibodeau coming to town, it's ruining the young core of the Timberwolves, and it's kind of scary to see if Andrew Wiggins or Karl Anthony Towns get traded, which I hope not, because why would you do that when you've come so far to be in the playoffs once again? So I feel like Bates-Diop could contribute to the team right away, and is a better shooter than Andrew Wiggins was coming into the NBA. Lastly, the 60th overall pick in the draft, the Dallas Mavericks selected Giannis's little brother, Keita Antetokounmpo. Once upon a time, people were saying, oh, if you think Giannis is good, just wait till his little brother gets into the league. I'm not sure which little brother it is, because he has like 5. I'm just kidding. He has like 2. Keita and Alex. And the Mavericks seem to have drafted his little brother simply for the fact that they feel like they could get Giannis in free agency. They could have the Antetokounmpo brothers on the Dallas Mavericks. I don't really see it happening, but the Mavericks have a nice young core. It sucks that Dirk died for this. He's been on such bad teams for the past few years, so they're finally getting something together. And best case scenario, his little brother becomes the next Giannis. Worst case scenario, he becomes Bruno Caboclo and does nothing in the league. I'm surprised he declared for the draft. He got drafted simply based off name, I'm assuming, because he only averaged 5 points in college. He really did nothing with Dayton. He wanted some of that NBA money, and hopefully his career with the Mavericks or whatever team turns out well. But these are my thoughts and opinions on this year's 2018 NBA draft and some of the sleeper picks and steals of the draft. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Check out some of these other videos on screen. Like the video if you enjoyed. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.